Alright, so we are live. Alright, why don't you just start out by telling me a little bit about what you do in the Quill Source.
I am Dan Wisniewski. I play guitar and sing a little bit and write some songs for the band.
Okay.
I do some organizational bits too. All the fun stuff.
So you are involved in the songwriting.
Yes.
I guess we can jump right into some of the songs then. Tell me about Creepy.
Creepy came out of a jam between a couple of us from a little while ago. And it's pretty freaking weird. Yeah, you get Kevin on the drums, which is a nice little touch, and you get Waif on the kind of dinosaur wailing, and when you get Kevin and Brendan locking in on the drums, it gets this weird, tribal something or other, and then the melody is mostly just talking, and it's very. As Waif would say, Waif has two types of songs, either happy or creepy. And this one seems to fit the bill of creepy, which is why it is called that.
Alright, off script. By the way, we can edit out my
yes,
voice.
I understand.
This is just a question I had actually about Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
During the intro,
Yeah.
the long intro, you don't say the same thing every time, do you?
No, I usually try to pick a different song, like a different real song, and take a bit of it each time. Like at the Fire, I did Hot Freaks by Guided by Voices.
Oh, right.
And at North Star, this past time, I did one of Lon Combs' new songs because it was a release party.
Oh, nice.
And I've done Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles, and I guess that's it. Have I really gone off of that? I've done a song called, what is that song called? By the Capstan Shafts. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're like a lo-fi band. What is Goddess of Provisional Affinity? I did that once too. It didn't go over so well. Which is why I don't do it anymore. But yeah, so I try. That's usually something I like to keep things interesting.
Yeah, no, I like that. The first time I noticed, I definitely heard Tomorrow Never Knows, and I didn't hear it the next time, and I was like, these are changing.
I try to put it would be cool if I come up with a new one every time, it all just kind of depends on how much prep I have for the show.
Right on. How about the State Line?
State Line was born out of wanting to put as many words into a song as I possibly could. And I think more than any other song on this album, it's just a good snapshot of me at a certain time. I think it's hard to boil it down to exactly like what the song is about, but kind of in the end, it's just like things get too heavy, so you should probably just drink a lot. And Brendan's drumming is great, and Wave's got a nice tight bass line. I don't know. I like it.
All right. That's What Bees Said.
That's What Bees Said was written in my garage at home in a purposeful attempt to write a song that sat in two different keys. Melodically, there's not a lot going on. It's mostly just a lot of talking and random lyrical nonsense. But, I don't know, it's got some punch to it. And Kevin had some nice backing vocals, and Dan's got a nice keyboard bit. The song has some weird environmental touch to it, so I think That's What Bees Said is a fun title. Also, it's really silly. I would listen to a song called That's What B Said. I don't know.
I agree. I agree.
So yeah, it's kind of, I like it because it's short, in and out. It's 2 minutes long. The song starts and then it's over before you know it, and it gets pretty loud. I scream a lot, which some people don't like, but those people can suck it.
So an environmental touch. Does Climateer sounds like it has an environmental touch?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Climateers is more of a, I think I was thinking of the word privateers, and I just, like, replaced it. I think by Climateers I meant someone who just kind of follows the climate, which I don't know how much sense that makes, meaning that they just kind of go where the wind takes them, I suppose, or where they're supposed to go. And that song is about growing up and not being relatively young anymore. So, very sad.
Your own personal environment.
You could say that. Yeah, and Climateers has all that cool guitar work. It's our Guitar Hero song. Not, I mean, and listening to it afterwards. People seem to enjoy it, so. I mean, there's not a lot going on lyrically, but structurally it's kind of all over the place, so I wouldn't say you'd be seeing many more songs like Climateers in the future, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
How about OT5?
OT5 is kind of Kevin's child. That riff is catchy as all hell. He just kind of, takes over. I kind of take a back seat in that. But Dan has some great, cinematic kind of touches in that. And the song has definitely evolved a lot since we started playing it. It's allowing a lot more umphy. But yeah, so I don't know. Let's see what Kevin has to say about that one. Because I don't know what he's saying.
Let's talk about Wives' Tale.
Wives' Tale is also Kevin's child. I don't even play on the studio recording, which is awesome. That's a song that kind of has been around for a bit and took a bit of a back seat for a while, but we heard him play it a couple months ago, and we were kind of reminded of how great a song it was, and I would say it's definitely the most straightforward track on the album, lyrically, which is a fantastic thing, because a lot of the songs are very obtuse, to say the least. So.
Would you consider Escalation one of those obtuse songs?
Halfway. I would say Escalation is about an old friend of ours who we don't know anymore. Kevin once told me that he was standing outside the library at school with a couple of our friends, and they were singing Escalation, and this is years before this album was coming out, and I thought that was pretty funny. It's kind of, I guess, that, along with That's What B Said, is our barn burner, as they might say. Another short song.
You've mentioned short songs a couple of times. Is that, and you've mentioned Guided by Voices. Is that definitely an influence?
I would say not so much on this album, but upcoming, yes. Definitely a song like Satellite Rapiers, which is a song we've been playing for a bit, is Guided by Voices through and through, but they hadn't been as much of an influence on me on this set of songs as future ones would be, which is an interesting thing to say, because a lot of these songs are old, really old. Like, the oldest song on this album is The Silence Is On, and I wrote that in February of 2006. And this album is coming out in December of 2009, which means it's almost 4 years old, which is a long time. So this album has been a long time coming. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about The Silence Is On and what it's like to keep a song for 4 years. I mean, does it get old?
When we had a bit of we've had, to say the least, a lot of drummer problems, and the fact that we have had 5 or 6 drummers in the very short time that we've been in this band. And for a while we hadn't played The Silence Is On for a while. And I remember Kevin saying, like, man, there's only one thing I want to do is I really just want to play The Silence Is On again. And I took that as a very good compliment. I think Silence Is On structurally is just silly. It, like, builds up to a chorus, and then it does a chorus again without really much anything else in between, which is interesting. And it's free and long. It's long. It's like our longest song, really. But it seems to work. I don't know. It's very happy, even if the subject matter is not the happiest. Kevin and I were pursuing these 2 girls who were in fact roommates, and Silence Is On is kind of like, well, you know, buck up or don't, girls. Stop messing around. So that was cool to write a song from mine and Kevin's perspective. It was the first song I ever wrote when I was wasted, too. So a lot of history of The Silence Is On. I don't know. It's fun to play. Sometimes the set doesn't work with the set, but you know, try to fit it in when we can.
Right on. How about Hi-Fi Glasses Crush? Sounds...
Speaking of Guided by Voices, that is a very Guided by Voices influenced song title. Hi-Fi Glasses Crush is a failure in my mind, because I set out to write a song where every lyric line would stand on its own, but also have nothing to do with the lyric before and after it, which was an interesting writing exercise, I thought, and I failed, because there are a couple, parts that are a couple sentences long, but I don't know, I was happy with my failure. The crowd singing along to the do-do-do's is pretty awesome, and the lyrics are just so silly. I love it. I always got the feeling not a lot of people like that one. I think because there's not a really strong melody there besides the do-do-do's, but it holds a special place at my heart. I actually, when I first wrote the song, I recorded it on my computer, and then I was at the shore at the time, and I drove back to Philadelphia. And on the entire ride back to the shore, the hour and a half, I just listened to Hi-Fi Glasses Crush over and over and over and over again. Wow, I have no idea why.
It must have been an awesome experience just to see so many people participating in the recording of that portion of Hi-Fi Glasses.
Yeah, having all those people singing along was really fun. It humbles me to think that a song that I wrote in my bedroom I could get 50 people to be singing along to it, even if I am paying them with beer. That's pretty great. So that was awesome. I had so much fun. So
nice. And then to wrap up questions about individual songs, we have Scratch Your Fast Forward.
Scratch Your Fast Forward was kind of born out of a time where I was considering moving home and worrying about if I could still stay a good musician if I was not living by myself. Meaning that you know, the song is very tongue in cheek when it's saying, you know, forget about your future, just go live at home. It's easier, you know. Living by yourself is hard, and the song was kind of thrown in the towel, at least metaphorically. But that was a song that Waif had a huge hand in writing. You know, that bass line is really catchy. And so me and Dan and Waif were we had a couple beers and we were down in the basement, and that kind of came out of that. I think that's the one that people seem to enjoy the most.
Nice. Alright, so speaking of being down in the basement, I actually talked to last week to Brendan and Dan and Waif about this. What are some of the pros and cons of your recording process?
Recording at home does have its positives. You can take your time. You can do it whenever the heck you want. You can record at 2 in the morning, you can record at 4 in the afternoon. But motivation is tough to come by. And I think sometimes having the most time in the world is more of a curse than a blessing. Because we started recording this album on January 2nd, 2009. And by the time it comes out, it'll have been almost a year. Which doesn't take into account any history of the recording process, but the fact that it took that long to get things done. Yes?
Alan's about to record some really cool stuff downstairs. I was wondering if we could get footage of that.
I'm in the middle of an interview. Oh, that's fine. Definitely grab that.
Keep on going with the interview. No, seriously.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing anything special.
I just figured that it's cool. Like it's looking awesome and it sounds really